Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. Good morning, good people. Good morning. How's your heart today? Is your heart kind? How's your mind today? Is your mind calm? I'm here in the bright sun at the sacred grove, next to the sacred creek, having a sacred moment with you, under the sacred trees as well. Do you have an ID? Maybe you have several IDs. It's 2024. There are a lot of things, items we have now that, well, in my youth or young adulthood, we didn't have. Back in the day, there were 3 keys on my key ring. One for the house, 2 for a vehicle. The square key was usually the ignition key, and the round key was for the trunk. And you carried a driver's license. And the insurance papers were in the glove box, but there were no gloves in it. The question today is, from what point are you looking at the world? When you stand in front of a mirror, what do you think? What are you thinking when you stand in front of a mirror? Are you looking for the imperfections? Are you making a determination by what you see in a mirror about your life? And lastly, are you identifying yourself by what you see? Are you identifying yourself by what you see in the mirror? There's a musician, an artist from way back, passed away a few years ago, Leon Russell. And on one of his albums is the song Magic Mirror. And a verse in that song is, magic mirror, if we only could try to see ourselves as others would. Magic mirror, if we only could try to see ourselves as others would. Now, I'm not saying to develop a personality or character based on how others view us. It's a thought, something to think about. And here's something else to think about that I've mentioned before. No matter where you're at right now, whatever your circumstances are, and maybe you're listening to my teachings and considering, well, I'd like to improve my quality of life. So you're at that point. You've been thinking about it. You listen to these teachings and you start thinking. So you're at that point. Or maybe you're at the point in your spiritual walk. You've improved your quality of life. And you're not sure how you're doing. Maybe you come to that decision because you're not getting a whole bunch of pats on the back. People aren't giving you all kind of compliments. And so you're questioning, how am I doing based on that? Let's imagine we have this coin, a big one, and on one side it says, if I only could see myself as others would. And we flip that around, and there's a question, and that question reads, have I seen myself through the eyes of the person I've become? Have I seen myself through the eyes of the person I've become? Through the eyes. There's a saying that goes like this. We're not spiritual beings. We're not human beings having a spiritual experience. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. So there's that. So imagine a funnel. Imagine a funnel. And everything I said you could see like in a cartoon, the words, all these words I've spoken already are dropping into this big funnel. They're just dropping in there. If I could see myself as others would. Have I seen myself through the eyes of the person I've become? When I look in the mirror, what do I see? It's dropping into a funnel and going to that point at the end of the funnel. And that point is called, how do we identify ourselves? How do we identify ourselves? You may have watched those movies, like a military movie, and maybe it's dark. Well, probably it's dark. Well, it is dark. And someone's walking into a certain area and somebody else, halt, identify yourself. Halt, identify yourself. I know you've heard this. People say, well, I can't identify with that. Today you hear a lot of talk, how do you identify? Too often we're misled by what other people think about us or think of us. And too often we're misled by what we think of ourselves. There's another saying that says, what other people think of me is none of my business. True to a point. True to a point, because if it's a good friend or a trusted family member, they may, with good intentions and from a good heart, say, maybe you shouldn't do that. And in that case, what other people think of us is our business. On the other hand, if I say what other people think of me is none of my business, I could say, that's true, that's true. Maybe somebody doesn't agree with my lifestyle, and I know how I'm living. I wake up every day from the time I wake up till the time I go to bed to not hurt anybody with my words or deeds. From the time I wake up until the time I go to bed to not be involved in destructive or useless activities. And every day I make a great effort not to put anything into my body that affects my faculties in a negative way. Yeah, I fall short here. But somebody once said, we should never put anything into our bodies that changes who we are. However, albeit nonetheless, if that's the life I'm living, and I have routines every day, spiritual practices, I follow spiritual principles. If somebody doesn't agree with me because I do that, or they're trying to convert me to a path they follow, yeah. What other people think of me is none of my business. In that case. Maybe, to use an old term, I've changed my ways. And there are people that just can't let it go. Well, what they think of me is none of my business. This is about improving our quality of life. Improving our quality of life. No matter what the starting point is, no matter where we're at on our journey, we're constantly trying to improve our quality of life. Trying means putting into practice methods, ideas, concepts, and ways that improve our personality, how we act, how we react to life. And at the end of the day, we could look back and say, well, did I have a kind heart today? And was my mind calm? Those three principles I mentioned that I follow every day, from the time I wake up till the time I go to sleep, to not harm anyone with my words or deeds, to not be involved in activity that's destructive or useless, to not put something into my system that affects it in a negative way. You can wait till the end of the day and look at those and say, I didn't harm anyone today with my words or deeds. I wasn't involved in activities that are destructive or useless. I made a great effort not to put in something into my system that affects my faculties in a negative way. And maybe you accomplished all of them. We only do this one day at a time. You can do those things in that sense, those three principles, and have a perfect day. And if you fail at any of them, or you fall short, if you hurt somebody with your words or deeds, go back and make amends. But think about it. Think about it first. What was involved, the other person involved. Sometimes making amends to certain people is a bad idea because it only causes more trouble. You get the gist of it. If you fell short with activities that were destructive or useless, what kind of activities am I speaking of? Well, maybe you got up today and said, all right, today's the day I don't play video games all day. Today's the day I get up and I'm not going to watch pornography all day. Today's the day I'm going to get up and I'm not going to go gambling all day. Today's the day I get up and I'm not going to think of ways to get back at somebody who hurt, frustrated, disappointed, or annoyed me. In other words, punish them. You're smart enough to know what these things are. You attempt every day to follow through with your commitments to yourself. Your commitments to yourself. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what other people think or what they're going to think. Where's Johan? Wow, he didn't come over to play video games today. I don't have to tell you how self-destructive watching pornography all day is. You get these things, right? You get what you're picking up what I'm putting down, in other words. So one day at a time, whatever principles you follow, you commit yourself. These are my intentions. This is what I intend to do today. Because I know they improve my quality of life when I do them, and if I fall short, there are consequences. I'm looking over at my dog. He's chilled out on his carpet. What's inside of you? What's inside of you? What's in your heart and mind or really your own ideas, concepts, and motives and theories. But what's also in your heart and mind are your past experiences and experiences of the day. What's in your heart and mind are your past experiences. And whether they're good or bad, they will affect you. Have you ever said to yourself or someone else, I wish. I wish. I wish I could do this. I wish I could be like that. I wish I could go there. What's stopping you? What's stopping you? Is your life run by a comment you make on Facebook and the amount of thumbs up and thumbs down you get? Are you deciding to do something good? You make the comment and people say, I think that'll never happen. Are you guided by your heart and gut feelings, or are you guided by the opinions of others, in other words? And I'm not saying dismiss opinions that are valuable to you from your closest friends or a trusted family member. However, I've learned that sometimes, because I know where I'm at spiritually, when I decide I want to do something or change something, I don't tell anybody else. I meditate on it. I come to a conclusion. I look at that conclusion sometimes and think it through again. Maybe I'll stick to it. Maybe I will have a thought that, okay, there's this variable, there's that variable. But I'm prepared. I'm prepared for it. I don't tell anybody. Make it an amazing day.